What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. So in today's video, as the title states, I'm going to be installing the lightest exhaust currently produced, at least as of the time of this recording, for the GR Corolla, and that would be the RK Titanium Center Exit Exhaust. So without further ado, let me just go ahead and flip this camera around and show you what I'm talking about, because this thing is beautiful. Alright guys, and here it is, the RK Titanium Center Exit Exhaust for the GR Corolla. Now, obviously, this thing is a used unit because brand new, this thing retails right around $1,600 if I'm not mistaken. I got it from Chris off the GR Corolla Facebook page for a killer deal at $800. He said only had it on for a few hundred miles or 1,000 miles or whatever it was. It was very, very little. As you can see, it's still basically brand new, short of, some wear and tear. This thing is extremely light, coming in at just 10 pounds. It is the lightest exhaust for the market. So it comes here with the center exit, right here, the mid pipes. This one has the resonator. So I believe this one is the street edition, which is what I wanted. He also included, obviously, the bands, the clamps, and a mounting bracket for the, what is that thing, the valve control, the control valve for the exhaust, so that way you don't get to check it on, you're just not zip tying it anywhere. I don't know where exactly this will be mounted. It looks like there's supposed to be 2 bolts here. I only see 1 extra bolt, so one might have been forgotten to be shipped, so I'm gonna have to find another 10mm bolt. But anyways, let me go ahead, look it up where this goes, and then we're gonna go ahead and install this exhaust. This is not going to be a full DIY. This is literally the 3rd exhaust I've installed on this car. If you want to check out how to install an exhaust, check out my 2 other videos. But I'm probably just going to do a time lapse of me uninstalling the MBRP and then installing this and then giving you a sound clip and some road noises after the fact. Alright guys, a quick update. I was going to show you a time lapse, but after reviewing the footage, you're basically just looking at my crotch for like a minute and a half. Anyways, with the not the factory exhaust, but the MBRP exhaust, I took it off in like 15 minutes, no big deal. I did find out where this OTL bracket mount goes. It actually looks like it bolts up to the factory hanger bracket. I don't know if we were supposed to get longer bolts or not, but the factory ones did fit, and according to all the pictures I've seen online, this is kind of where it goes. I do wish there was a better routing system for this. I had it normal way, but it just seemed like it kind of hung too low, so I went ahead and wrapped it around and plugged it in. So hopefully this is far enough away from the exhaust, and hopefully it doesn't rattle. I don't know. We'll see. But I have this mounted up. Let's go ahead and put the MBRP, or not the RK titanium exhaust on right now. I'm going to wash my hands first because if you guys are well aware, with titanium, all the oils and dirts that you leave on the exhaust ends up getting burnt onto the titanium. So ask me how I know. Anyways, let's go ahead and get the new one on. All right, a prime example of what I was just talking about. You could see where it looks like Chris or whoever installed it was grabbing onto the pipe and did not wipe off the oils from his hands after installing it. It looks like it is now permanently burnt into his exhaust. So Chris, looks like your fingerprints will forever be. Not gonna lie to you, it's been about a week now since I started the install on exhaust, mainly because he forgot to ship out the rubber band that was supposed to be in between this bracket and this muffler to keep it from scratching because it was not closing fully tight. But now that I got that in, everything is good. I forgot what I said in the last video, which is why I mentioned that. I have the OTL bracket mounted, all the clamps tight, down there is tight as well where it meets the mid pipe. So yeah, I mean, all in all, in total labor time, this thing took like maybe 45 minutes to an hour and 10 minutes to install. I've kind of lost track. Definitely would have been a lot quicker in the air. Probably would honestly had this done in like 20 minutes had I had a lift. I hate working on the ground, but it is what it is. And yeah, hopefully this is straight enough. Once I get it down on the ground, I'll readjust it however necessary. But yeah, everything is looking good so far. Let me go ahead and clean up a little bit, and then I'll go ahead and... All right, I got the car back on the ground. Everything seems to be tight. So let's go ahead and give this a cold start, and then I'll give you a warm-up start, and then we'll go on a test drive. Hopefully it's a little bit less raspy than the MBRP, which wasn't that raspy to begin with. It was definitely a lot better than the what was that, AWE one that I had, because the AWE one had the fucking weird ass muffler setup. But even with the resonator, the AWE was raspy as hell, and it droned like crazy. So this one actually has a resonator on along with the muffler, but I've All right, guys, now that you've heard how it sounds at idle and revving at a dead stop, let's try to do some city driving and some highway driving just to see how loud or how drony it is. Okay, so right off the bat, it is so much deeper than the MVRP. I really thought it was going to be raspier just because of the titanium, I guess, material itself. I've had like 2 other titanium exhausts in my entire life, and they've always been kind of raspy. This one, oh, there goes the backfire. Probably didn't hear that, but anyways, this is surprisingly throaty. I really thought it was going to be raspier, but I guess because since this is the street version with that built-in resonator, that resonator helps out a lot. I'm going about 50-ish miles per hour. Let's see, let's get it. It's about 55 in 5th gear. It's a little drony. Obviously, every single aftermarket exhaust is going to have some sort of drone, right? It's just the nature of the beast, but surprisingly, well, not so surprisingly, way less than the AWE exhaust was. Like, that was like, even their street version was crazy drony. I couldn't deal with that. I think I had that exhaust on for like a week, and I was like, nope, I'm done. As soon as I get onto the highway, I'll go ahead and do some pulls, just because I'm in a neighborhood right now and I can't do that. So I'll be right back. Okay, about to pull up on the highway right now, so let's go ahead and see how this sounds at wide open throttle, assuming I can get a clear go ahead. Okay, so surprisingly very quiet. Not expecting how quiet it was going to be. Not sure how it's coming off on camera. It's just a cell phone camera setup, no external mic, whatever, so I'm not sure if it's coming off raspy or loud or whatever have you in any of the videos, but in person, from the outside, it's extremely throaty, very deep. Same thing on the inside. At about 70 miles per hour right now in 6th gear. It's a little drone, but kind of depends on your tolerance level. This one's not bad, and at wide open throttle, it is not that loud. It's actually very crazy. I was expecting it to just roar in the higher RPMs, but yeah, no, extremely quiet for what it is. I'm very happy. So yeah, overall, as I said, you heard it sound from the outside at a dead stop kind of little launch control, whatever. You heard it on cold start, you heard it. I'm pretty sure I'm going to go ahead and insert the MBRP in there as well. If not, I'll do it here at the end of the video just so there's a dead comparison. But yeah, overall, at about 70 miles per hour in 6th gear, there is a bit of a drone. That's kind of the nature of the beast with aftermarket exhaust. But that's if you're going above the speed limit. So let's say I'm going at the speed limit in 6th gear. There's still a drone, 65 miles per hour. Just turn on the radio real quick. Yeah. Okay, so at about 65 miles per hour in 6th gear, there's still a bit of a drone. If you're on the throttle, if you're just kind of like cruising on and off, not too bad, but just note that at about 60 miles per hour, there is a slight drone. It wasn't as present at 50 miles an hour, so I guess it's just kind of depending on your highway and your area, depending on how fast you normally go. Just note that at about 65 miles an hour and up, there is a bit of a drone. But that could also be due to the nature of the short gearing of the GR Corolla, because right now at about 70 miles per hour in 6th gear, I am at 3,000 RPMs pretty much, and that's pretty high. Even at, let's get it down to 65, which is the official speed limit, I'm still at about 2,800 RPM. So very short gearing in this GR Corolla. So if had it been a longer gear ratio car, the drone might not be as present. So I don't know if it's actually so much the drone as the higher RPM idle that you are on the speed limit of most highways. That's probably why it's not as present at 50 miles an hour, because I'm much lower in the gear or the RPM. There you guys go. Sound clips of the RK titanium exhaust, the center exit street version. It sounds amazing in my opinion. There is a bit of a drone, not as loud as I thought it was going to be, and much deeper than I thought it was going to be. So overall, yeah. So if you stuck around this long, I know a lot of you guys have been asking nonstop about the GPS tracker updates. I've mentioned multiple times in the videos of my car content that I am waiting on a resolution between my lawyer and the dealership lawyer. We were close last time around, and we came very close to a settlement, but the thing was they wanted me to take down all the videos that I had previously recorded as part of the settlement, and I didn't want to do that because like the amount they agreed upon wasn't even as much as I made off the ad revenue from those videos. So I'm like, no, stupid. So you either give me this much and then I'll take them down, or you give me this much and I'll leave them up. And they counter offered, and they're just still kind of going back and forth. But anyways, that is that update. So yeah, guys, if I didn't insert the sound clip comparison videos in between the videos, here it is at the very end. Stock MBRP in the RK titanium. So until next time, guys, later.
Oh.